Hey guys, this is Cal. Welcome to the channel and welcome to beautiful Bangkok. Now, if you're living in Thailand or if you're traveling in Thailand, money matters. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get the best bang for your baht. I'm going to show you how to get the best exchange rates, how to open a bank account, whether you're on a non-immigrant resident visa or a tourist visa. What are your best options for sending money to Thailand or sending money back home? How can you invest abroad or domestically in Thailand? Stick around, I'm gonna cover it all for you so you don't have to, and you can save a little bit of your hard-earned baht when you come to Thailand. Let's go for a walk in this beautiful overcast city, and let's hope it doesn't rain, but if it does, you'll see a little bit of the rainy season here in Bangkok too. The currency in Thailand is the Thai baht. And whether you're planning on living here or traveling here, you're gonna need some Thai baht. So how are you gonna go about getting it? First things first, do not exchange for Thai baht in a Western country. The Thai baht is not a global currency, so it will be more expensive to trade for it at any exchange booth or bank in a Western country where cost structures are also higher. Banks pay more to maintain exchange booths in a Western country than they do here in Thailand. So you want to bring your local currency here to Thailand and exchange that money here. When you are entering Thailand, you can bring up to 20,000 US dollars in any currency without declaring it at customs, without filling out any annoying paperwork. However, your own country will likely also have a customs limit. You can leave the United States with up to $10,000 without declaring it to American customs officials. And this is a similar limit to most Western countries. My country of Canada also has a $10,000 limit, $20,000 for the Thai customs, but $10,000 for most Western customs officials. So in effect, you can come to Thailand with up to $10,000 without dealing with customs paperwork. You can decide whether or not you want to bring more money and go through that extra hassle. So you arrive at Suvarnabhumi, this is the international airport, here in Bangkok with your stack of cash. Do not exchange any large amounts of money at the airport. This is a rule for any country. Airport exchange rates are always the worst exchange rates that you will encounter. But you will need a little bit of money to get into the city, to get to your hotel, to maybe get something to eat. And so you want to change a little bit of money at the airport. Don't go to the first exchange booth that you encounter. Go to the lowest level floor next to the airport rail link and you will find a Super Rich exchange. Super Rich is one of the most popular exchanges here in Bangkok, here in Thailand, and it offers the best rates, but the airport rates will be higher than the exchanges in the city. Change a little bit of your money at the Super Rich next to the airport rail link in the airport complex so that you have some spending cash, you can get into the city, you can get a bite to eat, relax. Once you settle in at your hotel, you will have plenty of options to go exchange your money at one of the many Super Rich locations around Bangkok. Check the Super Rich website. You can also download their application, which will give you all of their locations as well as the exchange rates that they offer at each of their locations. and you can see the difference. Go to the one that's closest to you, go to the one that offers the best rate. And if you are exchanging a major currency such as the US dollar, the euro, the pound, you want to be exchanging large denomination bills. So when you bring the money from your country, try to make sure you're bringing $50 bills and $100 bills, 50 euro bills, 100 euro bills, as you will receive a better exchange rate at Super Rich for high denomination bills. I didn't use Super Rich when I first came to Thailand. I used a bank currency exchange and I lost a lot of money using these bank exchanges until I discovered Super Rich, and I'm hoping that my advice will save some of you guys some money. Let's talk about ATMs. ATMs are plentiful here in Thailand and they will accept any foreign bank card. However, you will pay some significant fees for using ATMs here in Thailand, and so you don't want to make this your primary access to currency when you're in the country. The fees will range from about 180 to 200 baht per use, plus any fees that your bank charges on its end. In addition, the exchange rate offered by the banks at ATMs is actually worse than the exchange rate you'll get at Super Rich, so you're much better off bringing currency into the country and exchanging it here in Thailand. But bring an ATM card with you, bring a credit card, and use these for an emergency fund, as you can easily access money at ATMs if you run out of cash and you need to get money. And it's not prohibitively expensive. I actually used an ATM card for several months while I was traveling after I stayed longer than intended. I learned later I was paying much more than I needed to, and so I hope my video helps you avoid the same issue by planning ahead a little bit and avoiding using ATMs as your primary access to currency. You ran out of money, you plan to stay in Thailand longer, but you're not going to use ATMs. What should you do? You should open a Thai bank account. Probably checked online if you have any interest in this subject, and you'll probably encounter quite a few different responses. And that's because in Thailand, different bank branches will actually follow different policies when it comes to opening accounts for foreigners. And this is because some branches simply don't know how to open accounts for foreigners, particularly on tourist visas. Now, I have 2 bank accounts here and I've opened them on work permits with 2 different workplaces. When you're on a work permit, normally your workplace will bring you directly to a branch that is very familiar with all the processes, all the paperwork. You will sit there for about 20 to 30 minutes, signing papers, signing documents until the account is opened and you make a small deposit. You'll always need a little bit of money to make a small deposit, so make sure to have a little bit of cash on you, and then you will open your account. The reason each workplace has a direct connection to one branch is because that branch will be very good at opening accounts for foreigners, meeting the standards or requirements of the permit that they are on. Many of you may be interested in opening an account on a tourist visa or a tourist exemption, and this is actually possible. However, you're going to need to walk around, potentially for a long time, until you find a branch that will open the account for you. And that's because the branch has to be familiar with all of the regulations and paperwork necessary to open an account for a foreigner on a tourist exemption or a tourist visa. If you walk into a branch, you're likely to be told it's not allowed. And the reason that they're going to say that is that they don't know how to do it. And in Thailand, saving face is a strong concept, and rather than tell you that they don't know how to do it, they're simply going to tell you you can't do it, but you can. You're going to have to go to a different branch that knows the rules and regulations and has all the paperwork in place to do it for you. What you need to do is walk around in a main tourist area. And the best location to do it is actually in Pattaya, but you can find branches here in central Bangkok around the Sukhumvit area that can open them. But it will be hit or miss, and you may spend a day or two walking around to check all of the branches before you find one that's willing to do it. But you can do it, and I would highly recommend that if you're staying here for a longer period of time, you should do it. It will make your life a lot easier. When you're going to open the account, make sure to bring your passport, and if you have any proof of residence, such as a lease agreement, a utility bill, a phone bill, bring that with you too. You don't necessarily need it, but it will be helpful. You're not going to want to go to the mall branches, as these tend to follow stricter rules and regulations that just means they won't do it. Your best bet in terms of the bank is Bangkok Bank. Most of my friends who have opened accounts using this process have opened accounts with Bangkok Bank, and they are a little bit more internationalized and they tend to be quite familiar with foreign customers. And once you have that account open, you can use TransferWise, now called Wise, to transfer money from your home bank account over to your Thai bank account at a very, very low cost. This is an excellent service. I've used it many, many times, and suddenly you have total access to all of your currency back home here in Thailand. You'll also find a bank useful because digital payment systems here in Thailand are quite excellent. They are way ahead of Western countries. And you'll find you can pay with QR code or mobile app for almost everything. I pay via my banking app for my rent, my mobile phone, my internet, my utilities. You can pay street vendors using a QR code scan on a mobile app. Now, when you go into the bank, you are going to have a choice between two different accounts, a current account and a savings account. A current account is essentially a checking account. You can only open a current account if you are on a non-B visa. So if you're on a tourist visa, it's a savings account for you. That's totally fine. Normally a savings account gives you a little bit higher interest rate, like 0.05005 versus 0. They're really low. Now, I actually have a savings account and a current account, and on my savings account, I'm only allowed to make 2 transactions per month, and then I have to pay 50 baht per transaction thereafter. If you're on a savings account, open a digital payment wallet. This is something like True Digital Payment Wallet. You can Google search that. There are plenty of them, and you can transfer money from your savings account to your digital payments wallet and use that wallet for all of your transactions, and that won't cost you anything. So you get 2 free transactions, use one of them to fund that wallet, and boom, you're good. You're not paying for transactions. Other big benefit of opening an account in Thailand is once you've opened it, it is open in perpetuity. I opened an account when I lived here about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and I went back to my own country for a couple of years, and I came back and the account was perfectly fine and no issues, and I just had a bank account immediately. If you open an account once, you will now have access to a bank account every time you come to Thailand. If you're coming here frequently, if you're spending long periods of time here, it can be very beneficial to take that day or two of walking around to get that bank account opened, and suddenly you have access to all of your money every time you come to Thailand with a very, very low cost using TransferWise. Clouds behind me are definitely getting a lot darker. I think it might start pouring rain, and I am in a very vulnerable spot here. There is no cover. The rain has started, but it's still nice and chill, a little bit of drizzle. We're gonna cover investment, and that includes investment in assets like stocks and bonds and index funds, as well as cryptocurrency. You can easily invest from here in Thailand. One of the biggest advantages is that there is zero capital gains taxes if you repatriate the money in the following year. What does that mean? Well, that means if I invest this year, we're in August right now, as long as I don't bring the money back into Thailand until next year, I will pay zero capital gains on any earnings that I made from investments. It's a nice little loophole. Pretty sure the rich might have made it. But it does mean that you can save paying any taxes on earnings so long as you're investing well, you get to keep them. So how do you invest? What is the best brokerage to use? How do you set it up? I personally use Interactive Brokers, and I've included a link in the description to this video. If you want to support the channel, get a little discount for yourself, you can use it. And I'm not recommending it because of the link. I'm recommending it because it's the brokerage I use, as it is your best choice. It has the lowest fees, as it's only $1 to trade stocks or index funds. And the spreads you pay, that's the price difference that you're going to pay between buyer or seller, is the lowest. What's a price spread? It's the same as the spread between the buy and sell rate at a currency exchange booth. Every brokerage sells and buys an asset at a slightly different price. When you look at exchanges like eToro, they have a large spread. They're actually taking a big hidden fee that they're not telling you about. So I highly recommend Interactive Brokers. It's actually the largest exchange as well that you can invest in from Thailand. It's got offices in the UK, in the US, and Australia, and has a very long-standing reputation. It's very easy to set up an account with Interactive Brokers. You'll have to upload a proof of identification and a proof of address. Your identification could be a passport, could be a driver's license, and your address normally should be a bank statement or a utility statement in your name with your address on it. Very, very easy. It took a few days for me to do the whole process. I was set up and able to transfer money directly from my Thai bank account over into my investment account. The exchange rate you're going to pay from Thai baht to US dollars, if you want to make US dollars your base currency, is very low also. You end up with a very inexpensive investment vehicle. And personally, I work in Thailand, and the Thai baht is an emerging market currency. And so I like to diversify my assets a little bit. I don't want to leave everything in Thai baht. And second, we have our cryptocurrency exchange, and I use BitCub. This is the biggest crypto exchange here in Thailand. I was very active during our last crypto mania and actually did pretty well from it. I got out in time. It's like a game of Monopoly in cryptocurrency. It's all fun and games until somebody throws the board over, and then you're left with nothing if you're still in. BitCub survived the last massive crash, so I do kind of trust it now. Its competitor ZipMex went bust, bankrupt. So if you've had money there, it's probably gone. When you're playing in the cryptocurrency game, you gotta be careful. So I'm not advising everybody to get involved in it. But if you are involved, BitCub does seem to be the safest exchange here in Thailand as an on-ramp and an off-ramp. The other thing I do with it is I transfer money abroad using cryptocurrency. So if I want to move money to Canada, it's actually kind of tricky to move money out of Thailand. So what I'll do is I'll transfer that money over to my Canadian exchange, which is called NDAX, and then convert it into Canadian dollars. like a nice swim in the pond here. So if you're interested in opening an account at BitCub, got a reference link below as well, but keep in mind cryptocurrency is not for the faint of heart. But if you're interested in getting involved before the next mania, probably the best time to buy is in this time when it's not in the news and nobody's paying attention, and then wait for everybody to go crazy again and then you sell. But keep in mind you can easily lose pretty much everything. So I'm not recommending it to people entirely, but I personally do invest in crypto along with a lot of other stuff. If you found this video useful, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be giving you plenty more useful videos for life in Thailand and also traveling within the region. I traveled to Vietnam recently, and I'm gonna make a whole series of videos about traveling in this region out of Bangkok, which is one of the best locations, I would argue, in the world for travel. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna try to get out before the rain picks back up again. We had a little bit of a drizzle, but what a beautiful day. We've had this great cloudy day, really cool weather, and it just hasn't rained.